Hey guys, Drutter here. It's March the 3rd. As you can see, the mountains up in North Vancouver are still covered in snow. At least the top half of them are anyways. I'm here helping my grandma at her house with some early spring gardening. Used to be Grandpa's job, but he's gone. And the crows are crowing and the chickadees are chickadeeing. And just thought I would record some of my thoughts today. Those who came before us called this a money tree. Can't really figure out why though. It doesn't really look anything like this $20 bill here. Maybe they didn't use that for money before. Maybe they used these. I'm in Grandpa's greenhouse now. It's actually somewhat warm in here. Grandma's got some plants that grow year-round. Just thinking about what else? Money. And the way we've gone from, this is $1 40 or 50 years ago. It's the same dollar, Canadian dollar, 20 years ago. And this is $1 today. So you went from a very large piece of silver, it's 0.6 ounces of silver there, to a smaller piece of copper and nickel, to a smaller piece of steel, and of course most dollars now actually aren't a metal at all, they're digital. But now what's the value today? Well, this silver dollar here from 40 or 50 years ago, I think look at the date, and it's 47 years ago. That silver dollar now is worth over $20 in metal. That middle one there, 20 years ago, that is now worth about 50 cents in copper and nickel. And that little piece of steel there on the end is worth about 1/4 of 1% of 1% of a cent, or something ridiculous. Steel is iron, and the planet is essentially made of iron, so that's not worth anything. So, what's the moral of the story? I guess it just goes to show you what's happened to our dollars over time, and why our purchasing power is not what it used to be. Swung by Wendy's today on the way here, just to check it out. Wendy's. Remember about 5 or 6 years ago, you could get a spicy chicken combo, back when I was eating birds, for about $5, and there was no tax on that. $5 even, or perhaps there was a 6% GST or something like that. It came to about $5, and you got a medium fries, a medium drink, and a burger with chicken in it. Now, I inquired today about the price of the same meal, and including the HST, which is now 12% tax, and including the food inflation tax, which is hidden, the total is $9. Now that comes with a small fries and a small drink, and it no longer comes with tomatoes because, well, tomatoes are expensive now. And that's it. That's all you get now. And it was $9. So you get less food, lower quality of food, and you're paying twice as much. And that's in 5 years. So is inflation really 1%? How much of your wages gone up in the last 5 years? Did your wages more than double in the last 5 years? No. Actually, wages have gone down in the last 5 years. I think most people are making a lot less than they were in the early to mid 2000s. So, what's the solution? I mean, we know we're going from this to this to this to, well, what is next? I mean, what's the trend here? Smaller and more worthless, probably, if we get to use coins at all. Will it all just be in microchips in our phones? Don't know. But I think the trend is clear, and we've kind of been tricked. And what to do about it? Well, I mean, you can still take these bills. You can turn them into things that are real. Copper and nickel are money, but silver is probably a better bet, in my opinion. And you can make that trade. You can take that paper in, you can take those digital units in, and you can turn them into real money again. Now, you can't do it at the rate you used to be able to do it. It used to cost me, not me, but others, it used to cost them 1/20th of this bill to buy this. $1. $1 would buy that. Now it's $20 to buy that. And it's only going to be getting worse. So how long are you going to wait before you own the real money? Grandma and Grandpa grew up during the Great Depression. The other one, I guess you could say. And they were kids on the prairies of Canada during the 30s. And they never forgot what they learned as kids. Everything is saved. Nothing's thrown away. They knew about the value of money. They knew what real money was. And even today, Grandma talks about it. How the banks are just looting this country. I think that she is probably the only remaining member of my family who knows that. My siblings and cousins, uncles, aunts, parents, none of them know that. So the old generation is pretty much gone, and I guess it's up to us to sort of revive the concept that metal is money, and value can't be stolen from you, taxed, legislated away by the big banks. This house was built in, I don't even remember when, long ago. My mom grew up in this house, but have a look at this. We're in the basement, obviously. Interesting. But what's more interesting, look at this up here on the top shelf. I don't know how long this has been here. Just gonna close this door here. I don't know how long it's been in the cellar here. But it's long-term food storage. Growing up in the Depression, the previous Depression, they learned to store food when they could, and they're still doing it today. My grandparents are probably the only people I know who do store food, other than myself. It is a lost art form, I guess you could say. Look at this. Dehydrated sweet corn. I'm not recommending this as a way to store food now. But it's certainly interesting to look through. I know that this has been updated in a while. What? I don't even know what that is. Contents. Ew. Soy. Hydrolyzed vegetable protein. MSG. Salt. Ew. Well, I guess it would keep you alive. That looks like something Grandma's done on her own. Looks like oats or something, maybe. Cereal, fruit and nuts. Good until 1997. This hasn't been updated in a long time, and it probably wouldn't be much good anymore. but it does serve as a reminder. Make sure you date your food when you store it. What's that one back there? Ooh, squirrel meat. No? Unflavored TVP. Oh, unflavored textured vegetable protein. Oh, okay, so it's a vegetable source of protein you can store. Red beans, dried, good until 1992. You know what? It's probably still edible. I wouldn't want to. And we got feeling good, more protein. So that's a good reminder. Make sure you store some protein and some carbs and some fats. Store all your different food groups for sure. But yeah, they used to store food. We don't really do that anymore, and I think that a lot of us should do that. It only makes sense. I mean, there's good times and there's hard times. I think we've been used to only good times, and we never really needed to dip into our food storage because it's just right there in the grocery store, the supermarket, and the Walmart. It may not always be that way. There's shorter term food storage down here as well. She just keeps it stocked up at all times with a few cases of different soups and things, just in case. Get it? Large tubs of sugar, salt, flour, that kind of stuff. Lots and lots of toilet paper. I was a baby in this room. I remember learning the alphabet on this wall. My parents lived with my grandparents for a few years until they could afford to move out into a house. And so I grew up with my grandparents till I was about 3, I guess it was. And then I lived also with them when I was going to university a while back. So I have lived here in this house on and off. Grandma collects Care Bears, as you can see. I'm going to miss her when she's gone. That said, I have dibs on the copper already. There's a ton of it in this place. Copper. There's so much of it in here, it's crazy. Think how many pennies are in that. And a penny's worth 3 cents worth of copper now. That's 100% copper bullion right there. All those pipes. There's just hundreds of them through this house. Grandpa had all kinds of tools. And a lot of them work without electricity too. He's got hand drills and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this box is... I can barely budge it. It is so full of tools. And it's a really good thing to have tools. Holy crap. This thing's got to be 30 pounds. Just found an old silver fork here in the garden. Growing food, that's another habit that my grandparents had. The soil has been worked for 50 years here. Got a compost heap over in the corner of the yard. The soil is so rich. I mean, when Grandma goes, I almost wish that I could take this soil with me. Maybe I can. Maybe I'll load it up into a truck. I don't know. Stuff grows really well in this garden. I'm not sure if that is visible or not. That's my handprint from 1977. My dad laid this concrete, I guess. I don't remember that. Must have been December 1977. Here's some snow. And here's some snowdrops. Not even sure if I'm going to upload this, but if I do, hope you enjoyed it. and I hope you're having a good day. Bye for now.